welcome back. And here we are again for a weekly WeAwake report, meditation. And today I've got an interesting track that we're going to meditate to. It is deep recovery. It's a guided meditation. And I actually did this thing before WeAwake was even born, before we were a company. I was really interested in this technology, and I was working with alcoholics and drug addicts, people trying to recover from this crippling disease. And I was using, various different companies, to include Bill Harris's stuff and Holosync, and I discovered this guy, Lee Spusa, on the internet. I really like his stuff. So I contacted him and said, I want to do this. This is what I do. I work with addicts and alcoholics, and I want to do this track, that a guided meditation over one of your things that I listened to, and I can't even remember what he called it back then. And I said, would that be okay? He said, sure, man, do it. He didn't ask for money or anything. Just, yeah, use it. So I did it, recorded it, and we started using it a bit with with my students that were, our home at that point was a treatment center. Every closet had a drug addict or an alcohol in it. They were everywhere, coming out of the cracks in the walls and all that. So it's really, really interesting time, good time. So anyway, so we used this, and then later we started WeAwake, and then I remembered I had this thing and said, well, let's release this. And then a few years ago, I was like, I think, well, this is really not that good. I don't think my guided meditation was that great. And so that week, some people started contacting me who had been using it and thanked me and said it saved their lives, and they were so grateful and everything. So I thought, okay, I guess we'll just leave it in there. So anyway, this is an the earliest recording, the earliest experimentation I ever did. And oh yeah, a little more of the story. I'd never done guided meditations before, so I got about 5 books, and I think they're still stacked over there in the corner somewhere about guided meditation. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure all this out. And then I said, oh, to hell with it, and I just put on the headphones and got a legal pad and just started writing what came up. And wow. And I told it to a few people, and that's amazing. So that's how we came up with a guided meditation, and the books are still there, haven't been opened yet. So anyway, that's the backstory. So this is, let me see. This is Guided Deep Recovery is the name of the track, Guided Meditation Deep Recovery. And there's 2 tracks, and they're 33 minutes and 2 seconds long. So you'll hear the music kick in, and then my voice will kick in. The guided meditation will go for about, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that. And then the rest will just be, you could just sink into the space. And I think it's really good for everyone, whether you're an alcoholic or not. We're all broken, we all suffer, we're all hurt, we've all been damaged. Life is a painful, difficult thing, and it's also can be a wonderful, beautiful thing. It's all of that. But anyway, so don't think that there's not something in it for you. If alcoholism, addiction is gratefully not your issue. I'm sure you have other ones. So okay, let's roll.
I feel my body deeply relaxing. I relax my feet. I let go, relaxing deeply. I relax my shins, my calves, my lower legs. I let go. I relax my thighs and my hamstrings. I continue to relax and let go. I relax my belly, my stomach. I relax my lower back. I let go. I relax my upper back and my shoulders. I relax my chest. I relax my upper arms. I let go. I relax my lower arms, my wrists, my hands, my fingers. I relax completely. I relax my throat, my jaw, my tongue. I relax my eyes.
What shall I say? Wasn't that a beautiful track? My God. Way to go, Lee. Sometimes you go back to these early tracks that I haven't listened to. We should have a special sale or something for that. It's really, really good. And I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. What else is new, right? But anyway, let's just take it from where I am. This summer has been pretty much dedicated to being a spiritual retreat for me. And I went through a lot of things. And Heidi is about a block, I don't know, half a mile from me or something like that. So you can see the kind of beauty outside her window there. And it has involved a lot of going inside and a lot of going into the wilderness every day with my dog, Tatum, and yoga. I've added that to my practices. It really helped. It's really good. And I use, we have a big screen TV, and so I get YouTube on it and generally work with Rodney Yee. If you guys ever heard of him, he's kind of a yoga rock star, and I really like him. And this one is pretty old. The one I've been using is called AM Yoga. So you can tell it was taken from a VHS. That's how old it is. It was back in the 80s and everything. It's a really, really nice, good thing. And I put in little earbuds while I'm doing the yoga track, transparent, so I can hear Rodney's voice as he's guiding us through the exercise. But I'm also listening to WeAwake tracks like Digital Euphoria or what's one? Audio Chi, I think. Anyway, different tracks. So I listen to the tracks while I'm doing the yoga, and it's been has been good. Get my whole body like in some kind of place, and it also seems to help with the meditation practice. And had a lot of insights this summer. This is my cup that Fabe and I found out in the wilderness. I think it's I don't know. I think it's I don't know where it's from or what company it represents, but it's my wilderness. It was all full of mud and everything. We took it because I always pick up, if there's any trash or something, I'll grab a piece and take it out with me. And so this is pretty nice. So anyway, that's my wilderness. That's my holy grail wilderness this summer. Teacup or coffee cup. And I was going through a lot of suffering, going through a lot of pain and grief. And well, why is that? Well, there's a lot of suffering in the world. I don't, can't get you start listing everything, but it's as the Buddha said, a lot it is suffering, and I'm been very connected to the war in Ukraine, and I'm, I had the honor and the privilege of going to Moscow to do a workshop right before relations got really bad, before Putin went in and stole Crimea from Ukraine. And anyway, I was really impressed with the young people and the old people and everybody that was in the workshop, and the people that we hung out with. Really, really deep people, and Putin's wrong about just about everything, but I think he's right about Russia is a special country and has the potential to be such a wonderful part of the human family. And it's not about conquering all your neighbors and reestablishing an oppressive empire. No, but there's a deep soulfulness in these people, and there's a deep loyalty, and there's a deep love, and I just saw lots of good, and it grieves me that so many innocent Russian lives are being thrown away in this mad war. And yeah, I wrote the song about Song to Putin. I think I put it on. So you should check it out. There's two songs I wrote about Ukraine. One is called Ukraine, ! John to Putin. The other was Song to Putin, I think. And one of the lines is, I'm writing, well, it's to Putin. And I'm saying, let your young men grow old. Give these guys a chance to live their lives. Stop fucking killing them for your damn ego and your insanity. Just stop it. So, and of course, the Ukrainians have been incredibly heroic and self-sacrificing, and they really, really don't want to be ruled by the KGB and Putin. They really don't, and they think that their freedom, as as new as it is for them to do democracy and all this stuff, imperfect democracy. Who has a perfect democracy? I haven't seen it yet. We certainly don't. It's just amazing, And I have friends. I have friends that are in Ukraine. We have a guy that works with us in WeAwake who lives in Kyiv. So while he's working on WeAwake stuff, there's missiles coming in, and not missiles, just random missiles to kill people. These are not military targets. I mean, there's certain rules and ethics, and even in war, like you're not supposed to target civilians. This is exactly what Russia has done under Putin. So, yeah. And so what can we learn? Well, we can be inspired by their heroism, and if they're willing to go out and sacrificed their lives for an idea of freedom, for democracy, for their people, for their land. And it is quite sure if he's not stopped at Ukraine, he has stated it that he wants to get back the old Soviet empire again, which includes Poland and well, former Czechoslovakia, all of that. All these countries are next, and so these they're not just fighting for their own freedom, but they're fighting for us. And it's not the U.S.'s fault. That's all Kremlin BS. He wanted this land to be his land, so he could be Putin the Great in history or something like that. And it's insane. Now he's Putin the awful, Putin the stupid. Anyway, don't get me started on that, John. But the point is, if these people are these brothers and sisters, these friends of mine can act with that kind of courage for this idea of freedom, well, hopefully we can be brave enough and courageous enough and disciplined enough to work on ourselves so that we can be free and so that we can bring our gifts to the world. Okay. So what I'm saying is do your practice. Okay. Get up, have your rendezvous, with God every morning, and just make that, do what you do. I have my routine. I just kind of just almost robotically get prepared and do what I have to do to get that going. And then boom, there I am. Okay. I'm doing yoga and I'm getting ready to meditate. And it doesn't take that long. You can, if you just do 20 minutes a day of just interior work. And I think the yoga routine I do now takes about 20 minutes or 40 minutes. It's like, and that helps us to be, to be a blessing instead of a burden, if you will. Um, we can start it with ourselves, and I don't know what your path is, what God has for you. Maybe it's something big, maybe it's something small, maybe it's something, the monks. I've been studying a lot of, well, actually two medieval Christian mystics this summer, and they've been very present with me. And I think Meister Eckhart said with monks, they felt at that time they were living the life in silence and interior meditative life, that they were not just doing that for their own realization of God, if you will, their own salvation, but they were doing it for the whole world. They felt that they were doing, and the more that, we've discovered in scientific lens about the nature of reality and how bloody weird it is when you get down to the basics of it. I mean, they say that an entity, a wavicle, a particle, one of these things here can affect another particle in another universe simultaneously. Like that. What about time and space? I don't know. What about it? It is definitely mysterious. And so what goes on in our soul and our hearts has an effect. Just as when we meditate together, I can feel the energy that's created when we do that. So yeah, use that kind of courage. And one of the, I'm into talking about some kind of dark stuff, but one of the things that came to me this summer while I was in a deep place was that it's all okay. It's all okay. It cannot help but be okay because it already is okay. And in the mind of God, there is no time. It's already done deal. Okay. And well, yep, it's okay. No matter what stupid thing we may do as individuals or as groups, it's okay because it is okay. It is held in the mind and heart of God, and that is very loving. And that is, again, words fail. And those of you who have had those experiences know what I'm talking about. Pam, I think she was 14 or something like that. Not, I mean, 19 or something, and she fell into a flower. Bloop, one of those mystical experiences that changed everything for the rest of her life. So we've had those experiences, and I've certainly had those experiences, and I've certainly had experience of the darkness way beyond my personal stuff. And if you go to Deep Transformation, our podcast that I do with Roger Wallace, Heidi's kind of the head guru. I don't know what her title is, but she runs everything. I never remember titles. I think I'm the CEO of WeAwake. I remember that. Yeah, Christopher Bache, and he did this book called LSD in the Mind of God. And he did like 127 high dose LSD experiences over a 10-year period. And they were sequential, just got getting deeper and deeper. And he went through all of this stuff and came out, and took him another 10 years to write up his notes. And he was a tenured professor at the time, so he couldn't publish it while he was still a professor, because my professor's been doing LSD trips, this my whole time in school. And anyway, but very powerful. Ultimately, redemptive story that he came back, and nothing that I haven't seen in those places. He just did it in much greater, perhaps, detail. So it really is okay. And one of the Christian mystics, and I could go on, I'm not as on a roll now, but I'll try to wrap this up, that I studied this summer is Julian of Norwich. Highly recommended. They don't know her name, her actual name, but she was, it was in the time of the Black Death in Europe, where 1/3 to 1/2 to more, depending, who you read, people died in waves of this Black Death, and probably her whole family died because she was a woman, and she knew how to read and write, and boy, could she write. She's one of the greatest authors of Middle English, right up there with Chaucer, for those of you who know him. And she had this revelation when she was dying, and then she got healed, and she had these 16 points. She spent the rest of her life as an anchoress in the church, which is, for those of you who don't know what an anchoress is, it's they build a room next to, inside the church, and she had a little window where she could participate in math, and then there was a window out to the street, and people would come by there for counseling and spiritual advice the rest of her life. But she spent her time, the rest of her life was in that room, and she was just working on what had been revealed. And one of the couple of things she did when she was dying, she had a hazelnut appeared in her hand. Little nut, hazelnut, look it up. And basically said, a holographic thing, like it's all there. The whole universe, all of God is in that hazelnut. In other words, God is everywhere. And the other thing that she said, this is what Jesus told her in this vision: all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things shall be well. It's okay and cannot help but be. And that everything that ever was is still there. Everything that you ever loved is still there in the mind of God. It's all okay. Our loved ones, it's all there. It's still there. And it only appears to go away because when the dimension of time comes up and things unfold, that's what time is like. But before time, there is the great sacred. Okay. And it's okay. And when you get to that place, uh, I've definitely lost loved ones. And anyway, grieve that, but it's okay on a deep level, you know. In some cases, I'm feeling the presence of these people more than I ever felt before, even when they were still walking around their bodies. So that's been really something. So before you call the band with the guy with the white suits to put me in the rubber room, I better wrap this up. Um, but yeah, but it really is okay. And even it's okay, that doesn't get us off the karmic hook. We still have to play our role. It's like if you're playing, you have a role in a Shakespeare play, Henry V. You know the end of the story. You've read. It's how it ends up, and but you still play your part. Knowing the play, you play your part even better with great passion and bring everything you can to your role. So that's what we're supposed to do with our life. Is know it's going to be okay at some deep level, but still we go through the human part of opening our hearts to pain and to suffering and bringing compassion and light to that. And when you are doing your rendezvous with God in the morning, or whenever you do it, but let's just say the morning, realize it's not just about you. You're doing it for all beings, for everything. It's all part of it in a great, mysterious, very, very deeply real way. So, genug davon. Enough of that, as we say in German. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And yeah, make sure you go and find time to connect with the natural world too. I mean, it's all natural world. There's nothing here that didn't come out of the earth, right? But I'm talking the less trammeled, the forest and the deserts and all of that stuff. Even if it's a park in the middle of a city, get out there and hug a tree and be with it. You'll find that it lifts some of the existential pain that we sometimes can feel or feel a lot. So anyway, that's it for today. And thank you for being here. God bless you guys.